I don't really know what to say for this one, lads. I don't really know what to say for this one. Cagliari 1, Juventus nil. A game that really, over the course of the 90 minutes, Cagliari created next to nothing. They had one chance and they scored one goal. Of course, knowing our luck, we concede from the only shot that the opposition has. Not something that I would have expected in this game to... I didn't even expect to drop points. I would have been upset with a draw in this game, and we've managed to get 0 points from it. We lose against a very weak Cagliari team, a team that's only won 2 games before this at home all season. And look, man, was it a pretty game? No. It was one of the ugliest games in general, and I say that because of how Cagliari played. Cagliari had 10 men behind the ball for the whole game, from minute 1 right until the end. 10 men behind the ball. Anti-football, bro. Anti-football. That's why neutrals don't watch the Serie A, for performances like that. That wasn't football. That's why I say it was an ugly game, because that wasn't football. That was us trying to create, trying to break them down, and them 10 men behind the ball. You don't get that in the Premier League. Arsenal, Forest. Forest is 17th. Positive. Leeds. Or, I don't know, Burnley. Or Wolves. Even those teams, they're more positive. They'll at least come and attack, and they'll try and create. Or West Ham against Spurs today, in the relegation zone, London derby. They get a result, they get a win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And I know Tottenham aren't great, but still, they're pretty much, they could have got guaranteed relegated today, West Ham, but they were positive. Cagliari, or any lesser team in Italy, they're not positive. They play like this, bro. 10 men behind the ball. And it worked for them. In fact, some would call it a masterclass from their coach and their team, because they came away with a 1-0 win. They came away with the 3 points. So as much as it was a frustrating game to watch from our perspective as Juventus fans, and them having 10 men behind the ball for the whole match, it worked for them. And they got exactly what they wanted, which was a win. Even though they would have taken a draw, 100%. A 0-0 they would have taken if you offered it to them at the start of the game. But from our perspective, guys, it wasn't great. We missed too many chances. We weren't at the races today. I think Spalletti, I don't know why he changed the system. I don't know why he changed the system going into this game. We'll touch upon that in a second. We weren't unlocking their defense enough. We weren't mounting enough pressure. We shot ourselves in the foot, really. Anyway, let's have a look. Ball possession, 78% for us. Expected goals, 1.28 for us. 0.11 for them. Does that not tell you enough? 0.11. We had 20 total shots. They had 3. But we both had 0 big chances. And let me not lie. That's not accurate. We had a few. Anyway. Lineup. This is the team we opted for. As you can see, a 4-2-3-1. I want to know why we changed from the 3-4-3, the 3-4-2-1, whatever you want to call it. We've played that system pretty much every game, the 3-4-2-1. Why would we suddenly switch to a 4-back? Now, I know you're going to say, oh, because maybe they were in a low block, we want to mount even more pressure, but it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Just because we've gone to a 4-back and it seems like we have 4 attackers on the pitch, we're not going to mount more pressure on their 3 defenders. Because look at our double pivot. Locatelli Koopmeiners, that's not an offensive double pivot. Us switching to a 4-back, unironically, gives us more stability at the back and less stability in the attack. Because now we're playing McKennie as a right winger and not a wing back, where he has more offensive responsibilities compared to defensive responsibilities because he's double covered here. Firstly, we've got Miretti occupying solely a central role, and yes, he drifted, right? But his main responsibility is a central role as the 10. Before, he had more freedom on the right-hand side. He was closer to McKennie. They were closer to link up. And he didn't have sole responsibility in the midfield because it was more congested, the centre of the park. Because you had David tucking in when we were playing in a 3-4-2-1. You had Thuram pressing forward. You had a 3-man defence. So there was the spine in the middle of the pitch, the spine. It was the wrong... I don't know why we changed the system. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's the best phrase in the world, bro. The 3-4-2-1 was working wonders for us. We were playing well. We were creating so many chances. Even today, of course, we were dictating the game, right? But bro, like, the system change was a bit unnecessary in my opinion. Now, for me, what really surprised me, if I'm being completely honest, not Pedin coming in goal. I can't lie. I would have expected Pedin more against Benfica than today. So I was a bit surprised. But Koopmeiners in the double pivot. Koopmeiners can't play in the double pivot. Koopmeiners cannot play in a double pivot next to Locatelli. That double pivot doesn't make sense. It's not well balanced. Locatelli Thuram makes sense. Because in Locatelli, you have someone that dictates the tempo of the game. Someone that speeds it up, slows it down, is comfortable on the ball, marshals the team. Can drop into that centre-back role when Kalulu pushes forward. That's why the 3-4-2-1 is so intricate. This formation and this system isn't... The players don't really... I don't think they've adapted yet to it because we never play a 4-2-3-1. Anyway, Thuram is more the engine. Thuram is the technicality in terms of the feet. Thuram is the box crasher midfielder. Thuram is the man that's going to drive into space. Look, Koopmeiners can't do that. Koopmeiners offers us a lot of work defensively. And today's recoveries were good. His defensive work was good. But bro, we don't need that double pivot against a team like Cagliari that you know are going to be in a low block. We need as much creative freedom on the pitch. And as I said at the start, this double pivot limits the creativity. I was so surprised not seeing Thuram. I'm thinking, why? I didn't understand it. Then we saw Thuram for what? He came on in the 80th minute, 10 minutes. At half time, I was saying, look, take off Koopmeiners, bring on Thuram. That like, for me, that was a standard change. That was a standard. We needed Thuram on the... Thuram was needed in a game like this. To be able to drive with the ball. Offer us more pressure in the final third. I didn't really understand it. So I think the system was wrong today. I think the system was wrong. I would have started Thuram as well. But I don't really understand this 4-2-3-1 why we had to change. Also, David wasn't in the game today. Now... Obviously, right now, we're linked to Jean-Philippe Mateta from Crystal Palace. And I've seen a couple Juventus fans tweet and talk about, oh, we don't need a striker like Mateta. What does a striker like Mateta offer us? Guys, we're playing in the Serie A here. What league do you think we're playing in? This isn't the Premier League, where, by the way, Mateta has a good record for a team in Crystal Palace, first of all. So people that are saying Mateta's not good, underestimating Mateta, you don't actually watch him, and you don't know what you're talking about. We're playing in the Serie A, where... The majority of the teams we're going to face every single season are going to be in a low block. Like these guys. Like Cagliari, this joke man team who set up with 10 men behind the ball for the whole game. Okay? So most of the teams in the Serie A are in a low block. Most of the teams in the Serie A got big bruisers at the back who don't have any feet in the sense that they're not technically gifted. They can't pass out from the back. They're just massive. They're big and strong and physical, like Yerry Mina. A guy that you can't stand playing against. Like Luperto. This guy, like, these are like classic raw dog Italian centre-backs or Serie A centre-backs. That's why you need someone like Mateta. In a game like this, like Jonathan David, his qualities are his link-up, his technical ability. He drops in to the 10 role. Involves the wingers, the midfielders playing off him. Jonathan David isn't a hold-up, man. Jonathan David isn't good in the air, nor is Openda. David and Openda don't suit a game like this. You need a big man up top that can hold the ball, that can bully Mina, that can deal with Mina's physical presence, that is good in the air. Because how many times today, guys, did we have to resort to the long ball? How many times today, guys, were we just whipping in aimless crosses, and who was clearing them up every time? All their centre-backs. Because McKennie was there. McKennie's good in the air, granted, but he's not that tall. Miretti, I'm not good in the air. David, not good in the air. Yildiz is mostly whipping in them crosses. Even off the bench, bro. Zagrova, Openda, Conceição. Like, Vlahovic isn't here. If Vlahovic was available, Vlahovic would have been the striker for this kind of game. But this is why, like, someone like Mateta is a useful striker to have in your team. Because he's a different kind of player to Jonathan David. Jonathan David against like a Sassuolo team who like to play out from the back, are more positive under Grosso. They want to attack you. They've gotten results this season. They're actually going to try. That was why that was an open game. Cremonese are more positive than Cagliari as well. So that was a bit more open. And we're at home. We got an early goal. The floodgates opened, right? So different situations. In a game like this, someone like Mateta, that's why I'm very for the Mateta signing. If we were to sign Jean-Philippe Mateta, I'd be very happy because I think a striker build like him, he would cook not only in games like this, but in the Serie A. Bro, a physical number 9 who, yes, people say, oh, but his XG is way higher than the amount of goals he's scored and he misses a lot of chances. Bro, he still puts the ball in the back of the net. And he's been doing that for Crystal Palace, bro. He was a massive factor in why they won the FA Cup last season. Their goal in the final came from his hold-up play against Man City, bro. So, Jonathan David, Jean-Philippe Mateta, and Openda, 3 different kind of strikers. And the reason why I haven't named Vlahovic is because his contract is expiring in the summer. And if we were to sign Mateta, that kind of tells me, look, maybe Vlahovic doesn't want to re-sign the thing. Anyway, we also had a penalty disallowed in the first half. I'll be real, it wasn't a pen. They overturned it. That was the correct decision in my opinion. But we just didn't create much. I mean, we had a lot of chances, but they weren't clear-cut chances for me. They were like pop shots from outside of the box. The main man through all of that was Kenan. And even Kenan, bro, he just came off the bat of an illness. He didn't train in the last few days because of an illness. So this isn't even a fully fit Kenan. And still everything was going from him, through him. He was our most positive player. He was our most creative player again today. He was popping off shots. And Caprile just made about, genuinely, 5 saves. I don't believe that. I think it's more. I think he made like 10. Genuinely. That guy was saving everything, bro. He could save the Titanic. He could save certain guys' marriage. He could save certain people's marriages, bro. Today, Caprile saved everything. And let me ask you all something. Maybe it's just me who's noticed this, yeah? But whenever Juventus plays, the keeper we play against, whoever it may be, Caprile, Aldero, whatever keeper it is, whatever one it is, they turn into prime Buffon and they save everything. And anytime the opposition has one shot against us in the game, it always goes in. We're so unlucky. They had one shot today. It was a free kick. It came off Mazzitelli, who's, I think this is his first goal he scored all year. I can't lie, Perin maybe could have done better. I mean, he was a bit blocked by his vision and whatnot, but it wasn't too far in the corner. Maybe he could have reacted better, I don't know. But what I'm saying is one shot, one goal. It wasn't even a chance, bro. It was like some half chance. It just fizzed in a corner. He just tapped it. He didn't even mean to do it, this guy. Like, it's just frustrating, bro. I hate playing against teams like Cagliari because they don't want to play football. They don't come to play football. That wasn't football, that game. Like most Italian teams. That was just a dog scrap. And they nicked the win. That's it. And now, in terms of the table, guys, the Scudetto dream is like Inter won again. Napoli won. So now we have to pray that Roma lose to Torino tomorrow. Because if Roma win, they go to 42. And then the gap is 4. No. Yeah. No, the gap is 3. The gap is 3, sorry. So even if they draw, look, gap is 1. It's not the end of the world. But Torino tomorrow, I think they're away. Okay, Torino are our rivals, 11th. They're not in great form, though. They've lost their last 2. So... But again, bro, this game is against Cagliari, bro. Come on. This team, Cagliari, bro, they were just outside the relegation zone. Yeah, it's frustrating, guys. It's frustrating the loss today. I can't lie. Considering the way we've played in the last few weeks, today we just weren't at the races. It was one of those days, bro. It was one of those days. I could just tell from the start, like, we were moving the ball well and we were mounting pressure, but the chances weren't in abundance like the Cremonese game. The goal, I didn't feel the goal was coming. It just felt like one of those days, those blurry days where it was, I don't know, it was like fuzzy in the sense that we weren't thinking straight. We weren't creating top chances. I just felt like I felt like it was going to be a draw. I didn't see a world in which they scored. I just felt it was going to be like a 0-0, genuinely. I just didn't see us breaking the deadlock. It's one of those days. It's disappointing, but we dropped points. We lost. So yeah, we dropped points, but we lost, yeah. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about the game, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're so close to 30k subs. Share it to some friends. Like the video if you enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next one.